The International Space Station uses 262,400 solar cells to convert sunlight to electricity. Write 262,400 in standard form, word form, and expanded form. So these are new. These are not actually new. I know you guys did these in 3rd grade, but we're reviewing the different forms you can write. Each group of 3 digits separated by comma is called a period. Raise your hand if that's the first time you've heard this period, meaning a section of numbers. And what that means, what it looks like here is we always put a comma after the 3 digits, right? Okay. So we always, if we put a number in here, we would put that comma right there. And then we'd have 3 more, and then we'd have another comma. Did you guys know that they come in chunks of 3? So if I gave you a number like this, and I said, please put commas where they belong, you would start on this side and count, and after every 3rd number, you'd put a comma. So 1, 2, 3, comma, 1, 2, 3, comma. My pen is not working. 1, 2, 3, comma. Okay? So a period is the 3 digits in between the commas. So this is one period, this is another period, this is another period, and this is part of this next period. Okay? Each period has its own hundreds, tens, and ones. So when you're doing a place value, you think about every period. Each one of these periods has a hundreds, a tens, and a ones place. The greatest place value position in the thousands period is 100,000. So when we're looking at the thousands period, you see that it has the ones place, which is like 9,000. If I put a 9 here, that would be 9,000. It has a tens place. If I put a 2 there, I would know that that means 20,000. If I put a 1 there, I'd know that's 10,000 because it's in the 10th place. And then there's a hundreds place. This is 310,000. It's just like I would say here if I did this. What would that number be?
310.
310. Now if I have it here, 310, this comma reminds me I have to say something else in that number. So it's 310,000. Okay? So that's how I know that this is called 310,000 because it has that comma there that tells me it's the thousand. Now saying that, does that mean that this is 234,567,890? No. Each period has its own name. So this period is the ones period. This is the thousands. Does anybody know what the next period is? Ian?
10,000.
Huh?
10,000.
This is the 10,000 within the thousands period. What do you think, Melvin?
100,000.
The 100,000s is within the thousands period. So that's all in here. But our 2, 3, 4 is in what period, Devin?
Million.
The millions period. Okay? Does anybody know what the 1 is in? What period that's in? What do you think, Miranda? Billion. So if I was going to read this number right here, it's actually not as scary as it looks. Because each comma, I'm going to say what period it is.
Billion.
So I only have 1 in the billion period, and it's in the ones place. So I would just say 1 billion. I'm going to read it. 1,234,567,890. So it really becomes easy if you remember the periods that they're in. What do you think the next period is after billions?
Trillions.
Trillions. So if I gave you a number that was in the trillions, you would just read those 3 digits just like you were reading them in the ones period. Just like you would read this. So you would say whatever it is, and then you would say trillion, and you'd say whatever these are, and then you'd say billion, and then you'd say 234,567,890. So all you're really needing to remember how to say is those first three. And I think that you guys have that down probably since about first or second grade. So saying these bigger numbers doesn't get any harder. It's just knowing the period that it's in, and then when you get to that comma, you have to say that word. Okay? So, now let's see if you guys can read this with me again. So looking at it, what does this comma stand for? Which period? That's funny. This comma stands for which period? Like a period. Like that. That was a funny thing to say. It's the thousands period. So let's read this together. We're going to start reading this just like it's 262, where we'd say is 262. So let's say that again. 262,400. That's it. So you just say those digits like they were all by themselves, those three, and then you go on to the period, or the comma, and then whatever period it is. All right, the number 262,400 has two periods, the thousands and the one. We've already done that. Here would be standard form. Standard means typically like usual or normal, and that's word form is also easy to remember because it's just in words. So if I were writing it out, I would write 262,400. I'm just writing the words that I'm saying. And then the last one is expanded form. If I'm writing an expanded form, let me go ahead and put the number in here because that's what's supposed to be in here. 262,400. If I'm writing an expanded form, I'm going to write each digit as the value that it is. We did place value yesterday. We did value yesterday. So the 2 stands for 200,000. So this is how you write 200,000. The 6 stands for 6. We don't say 10,000. We say 60, right? Stands for 60,000. The 2 here stands for 2,000. And then we have 400. Do we have any 10s?
No.
Do we have any 1s?
No.
So there's nothing more. So I'm just taking this number and separating it into its values. Now, I don't know if you realize this, but if I take these numbers, and I know you guys did expanded form in 3rd grade, right? It's not brand new. So if I line them up, keeping my zeros, my right sides lined up, if I add those, well, look at what number I get. 262,400. When you do the expanded form, that's why they put the plus in there. Because when you add those all together, it should come back to your original number. 92,000. So I know I need to write 92, and 1,000 tells me to write the comma. We're not writing right now, only Miss Harris says. Thank you. It's alright, you don't have to erase it. And then the next part says 170. So 170. So just written it in standard form. Put your pencil down there. The word form is already done. So now I'm going to go into the expanded form. I have 90,000, that takes care of the 9-digit. 2,000 takes care of the 2-digit. And I see the 70, that's taking care of that digit. And also there's no 1s. So that digit's taken care of. All I have to do is take care of this 1. What is the value of the 1? 100. Okay? Let's do the next one together first before you guys write. 200,007. That was pretty easy. So it tells me right here already 200. I'm going to write 1,000, comma, 7. That's all that I have to write down. Now when I write in an expanded form, all the zeros, I don't need to write anything for those. I've got the value of the 7 already. I need to do the value of the 2. Raise your hand if you can tell me what the value of that 2 is.
200,000.
Very good. And I love how he repeated my question in his answer. Very good. All right, 200,000. And